Hello, welcome to another JavaScript tutorial video. In this video, we will be talking about destructuring, and we will look at both array destructuring and object destructuring. So the array that we're starting with here is best-selling cars 2024, which grabs 5 of the best-selling cars of 2024 so far. And our destructuring list right here is just grabbing the best, second best, and third best from that list. Or really what it's grabbing literally is the 0 index, the 1 index, and the 2 index elements from this array. So if we log best, it's just going to look at the first, or I should say 0th index from this array. And so we should see the Ford F-Series here, and we do. And if we were to log second best, then we would be seeing the Chevrolet Silverado as our result. And if we do the third best, then of course we'll see our RAV4. So what happens if we know that we want to grab the first 3, but we also want to have access to the rest? Well, we can actually use something called the rest operator. And it looks exactly like the spread operator, which I will talk about later. It's just 3 dots and then a name. So the name that we're going to give this one is the rest. And of course, since we're already pulling the best, second best, and third best out of this list, those are not going to be included in the rest. So we're only going to see Model Y and CRV here. And that's what we get right here. If you use this, you must make sure that it's the last element of your destructure. If you try to stick it in the middle or at the beginning or something, then you'll get an error, and it'll just tell you a rest element must be last in a destructuring pattern. So just to look at this a little more closely, we are forming an array, we're naming variables, and we are setting that to equal an original array here that's already been constructed. In this case, the best-selling cars of 2024 right here. Okay, so now on to object destructuring. We have a car object here, which has a make, model, year, and miles. And we have kind of an old way of just grabbing the data out of there. So we would have car1.make.model.year and .miles. But if you want to destructure an object, then much like we did with the array, we draw brackets around it, but now we are drawing the object brackets around it. And we set that to equal the object that we are pulling from. Only this time, instead of grabbing the indexed results, we are grabbing the key results. So for example, we must make sure that the object actually has a make, model, year, and miles if we want to use those somewhere. So this will of course return Mazda. And since it's a key, it doesn't need to actually be at the beginning, even though make is right here at the beginning. So we could stick make at the end if we wanted to, for example, and we would still get the result of Mazda. Just doesn't matter, right? So let's bring that back to the front here. Let's see what happens if we use the rest operator here, which is exactly the same as it was in the array. So in this case, we are referring to the make and the model specifically. So we have Mazda and Miata, and the rest is going to refer to year and miles. So we have the year and miles popping up now. So what happens if we do, say, make and miles now instead of make and model? You'll see that we get model and year because those are the two that are missing now from our destructure. So for object destructuring, you still do have to put this at the end, but of course you can actually kind of grab exactly what you want, and since it doesn't go by index, you're grabbing the rest of the non-referenced keys and value pairs. But yeah, this will still not work. You have to put it at the end still. Okay, so that is destructuring. It's just a modern, it's kind of a time-saving way of grabbing data out of arrays and objects. I hope that helps.